Hi, I'm Natalie Pass Miller. I'm the owner of the Historic Magnolia House here in Greensboro, North Carolina.
And tell us where it's located.
It's located at downtown Greensboro on the corner of Platt Street and Garl Street.
How long has this house been here?
The house was built in 1889. The Gist family, they bought the home in 1949 with the intentions of turning it into a Green Book hotel. And then my dad bought it from them in 1995 to restore it and to save it from being demolished.
Excellent. Did you grow up in this neighborhood?
I did. So both my dad and we both grew up right around the corner from here. Our childhood homes are right beside each other. And dad was one of the snot-nosed kids, right, running up and down the street to see the fancy car, to see if they can get an autograph. And so that's how he connected with the home and was familiar with it.
Talk about the Green Book and being listed in the Green Book.
So we are a Green Book site from 1949 till around early 70s. We were listed in 6 editions of the Green Book and starred in each of those editions, meaning we were a highly recommended place to stay. We were also the only hotel of prominence that was listed in the Green Book between Richmond, Virginia and Atlanta, Georgia.
I noticed in the Green Book that there was a star beside the Magnolia. So for the Green Book, that would be equivalent to being a 5-star hotel now, wouldn't it? Is how I looked at it. Okay.
It's pretty special.
Yeah, so talk about the people who stayed here and what this meant for Black people.
Yeah, so when we think about our guest list, it's it's pretty humbling, really. I mean, we're honoring our historic guests such as Carter G. Woodson and James Baldwin, Lena Horne, Louis Armstrong, Ray Charles, and many, many others whenever they would travel through town. And so what that meant in turn when they were here with us, and this is probably my favorite part about the whole story of the home, is this was their safe place to really just be, right? When you think about the Jim Crow era, there is nothing easy about navigating through that space. And, for the guests that we had and all the demands that they had with their careers, either as artists, speakers, civil rights, sports athletes, when they came here, they just escaped all of that. And what that looked like and how that translated in the community is, when James Brown would stay here, he would be out in the street playing with the kids, playing baseball. And when, so Louis Armstrong, he would stay with us 3 weeks at a time.
Oh, wow.
And, he would be in the ballroom just eating, his biscuits and molasses and cleaning his trumpet. And, it's just scenarios like that when you really they're their human self. And this was that safe place to do so.
Since the movie, The Green Book, has come out, have you seen people kind of have that aha moment where they like, okay, I get what you've been talking about?
Yes, but I'll say more so than an aha moment, it's you get to see this nonverbal humility about them because it resonates truly what the Green Book represented and around the hardships of those times. And, just something as simple as just getting in your car to go somewhere and having to go through so much, such as sundown towns and, places where you can't go eat and places where you can't stop. And it's just, that's what they respond to. They really truly understand the hardship of a Black traveler during Jim Crow.
You've played are paying homage to a lot of these people by naming the rooms and keeping the rooms decorated. Talk about some of the rooms here.
Yeah, so everything that we do here is really intentional. We are what you call a living museum. So we provide education through you actually immersing yourself into the experience. So that is the whole reason why we opened up the hotel. And so what you're experiencing today when we opened up our hotel and all of our service lines in January of this year, you are walking the very halls, you are walking through the very door, you're staying in the very rooms that all of these historic guests did. And so when I was working with Vivid Interiors and the furniture industry and the design companies and sponsors, one of the important things that I wanted to make sure that we carried out when we preserved the interior of the home is I wanted it to be sure that we felt that mid-century modern theme and those with some contemporary elements, of course. But when you walk through here, do you feel kind of the swag of James Baldwin, right? Does it look and feel, and can you feel the energy of Sam Cooke when he was in here? And so the hotel rooms, while today we have only 4 rooms available for now, you have to think about, well, how do you pay homage to its history and these guests with only 4 rooms? And so that's where we had a little bit of fun. And so what we did is we themed the rooms based on category of guests. And that allowed us to be able to really pay tribute to several of them with the resource constraint that we had, the 4 rooms. And so one room, each room is its own experience.
Okay.
And so one room, the Carlotta, that's our paying homage to what we call our Queens of Soul. So that's Gladys Knight and Ruth Brown and Lena Horne and Tina Turner when they'd stay here. The other room is we have that for what we call our writers or authors and intellectuals. So that's the Baldwin. So that's where we think about and pay respects to Carter G. Woodson and James Baldwin. And then a little further down the hall, we have the Legends. That pays homage to our sports athletes that were with us. So Jackie Robinson and Satchel Paige and Ezra Charles. And then the other room is our Kind of Blue. And the Kind of Blue room, that room is paying respects to the relationship between Buddy Gist, who was one of the children of the Gist family that owned the Greenbrook Hotel, and Miles Davis. And so Buddy Gist and Miles Davis, they were really good friends. And they traveled back and forth between here and Harlem together. Buddy had a coffee company that they talked about and worked with together. And because of that really close relationship, Miles Davis gifted Buddy his trumpet from his Kind of Blue album. And so today, before Buddy passed away, he donated that trumpet to UNCG. And so you can find it down there on the music building on the ground floor. And that's why they have the Miles Davis Music Jazz program. And so that is why we have the Kind of Blue.
You also do a very unique thing as far as your takeout with the Shoebox lunches. Please explain that.
So, good question. So again, going back to the intentionality of what we do in the living experience, one of the things that is important that we wanted to also elevate when we think about the history and the story of the Black traveler is how they eat. And so we have the Shoebox Lunch and Learn meal program that we offer. That's our education program that we do with community organizations, schools, etc. And so we recreate how the Black traveler ate if they didn't have a safe place to stay or stop to eat when they were making their way here to Magnolia. And, if we want to put a little bit of a visual picture around that, a little bit of a story, a short story for you. So if we take Ray Charles, so Ray Charles, when he would stay with us, as an example, before he left his home to get on the road to come here, the matriarch in the family, whether it's a mom, aunt, lady friend, what have you, they take a piece of fried chicken, maybe a hard-boiled egg, maybe a piece of pound cake. They put it, at the time, all they had were shoeboxes. So they put that in a shoebox, give it to Ray and whoever's traveling with him. And before Ray Charles would get on the highway, he'd stop at the local SO gas station, which we know as Exxon today. And about $1.25, $1.50, something like that, pay to get a green book. And before they get on the highway, they stop and kind of map their route out, how they were going to get here. And if they were mapping out that route and they found that there wasn't a safe place to stop and eat, well, they were all right, because they were protected by having that shoebox in their car.
Excellent, excellent. And your brunches are legendary. When did you start doing those?
Yeah, so, the brunches actually were something that Dad had. He was working with a young lady before I came in 5 years ago to take it on. I think they were doing brunches at the time on Sundays twice a month. So taking that on, it made sense to continue that and to expand that, especially going back to intentionality, thinking about Mama Gist in the kitchen, right? And so we do have brunches today, every Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 3. And the menu is as representative as we can be, while still also meeting all of the dietary needs and uniqueness of the world. But it's what we call a soulful elegance type of cuisine.
Excellent, excellent. Give us the address again.
Sure. So we're located at 442 Garl Street in Greensboro, North Carolina.
And how can people find out more information?
Sure. So they can either give us a call at 336-617-3382, or they can go on our website, which is www.thehistoricmagnoliahouse.org.
Wonderful. Thank you so much, and please keep this history going.
Oh, thank you for being here. I appreciate you.